I'm just gonna cut. All right, Blue Beetle's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Spectacular.
It has heart. It has comedy. It has some good action, some good fight stuff. I mean, not like the best I've ever seen, but I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just different, which is
It's
great in a superhero genre.
Yeah, especially for an origin story.
Yes.
It's so nice.
Yes. This movie, Blue Beetle, is like if you took Into the Spider-Verse and Encanto and mushed them together. It's great. Tell me I'm wrong, Maggie.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It reminds me of like a John Hughes movie in a way.
I could see that. I love the fact that they really leaned into the culture side of everything.
Yes.
George Lopez kills it.
Yes, he does.
He's fantastic in this. Zolo Maridueña, fantastic in this. I hate that the writer, or not the writer, but the actor strike is going on. Like, not for the actors. They deserve it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they deserve more money, obviously.
They deserve health insurance.
But I hate it for him because there was a video going around of him getting cast.
Yeah.
And, like, when he finds out, he starts crying.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful. And you can just feel his love for this character in the same way that you could feel, like Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. Like, you could tell, like, he was so thankful to just be back, you know? And, like, that's in every bit of this.
Tobey Maguire. Hey.
Tobey Maguire, youth pastor. But no, he's just so good in this.
And, like, his acting in this, like, he's really good in Cobra Kai, but I think it tops.
Damn it. That was the shirt I was going to wear. I was going to wear my Cobra Kai shirt. I had it setting out and everything, and I completely forgot about it.
I came this close to wearing your Cobra Kai shirt earlier.
Damn it.
This close.
I should have worn it.
But
anyway.
Just, I'm trying to find the word. He, really makes me believe that,
a beetle can fly.
A beetle can fly. No, I'm just joking. That in those moments
That's going to be a TikTok.
that he really is this character. Like, just how the crying.
Yeah. And like his love for his family.
Yes. I love that.
Even though they annoy the shit out of him a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it never comes across as him like
annoyed at them.
Yeah. Like you can tell he's like, this is my family. But like he loves them, as
they are.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, we don't get that a lot, especially with younger protagonists. Like it's usually like, God, Dad.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, it's nice that he just loves his dad, that's okay.
And I know we said this in the trailer reaction, but like, it's kind of nice to see that the whole entire family knows.
Yes. From the get-go. I mean, that's not a spoiler. I don't think it is.
I don't think it's in the trailer.
Yeah. But he's not trying to hide it from anybody. He's not trying to, honestly, the whole thing is really about him trying to not to get it off of him.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much the main plot. Right. And I don't think that's a spoiler, but like the Blue Beetle attaches to him and he's like just trying to get it off. And like that's the whole point, right? Yeah. It really is almost more like a science fiction movie more than a superhero movie, It reminds me of stuff like Project Almanac or Chronicle.
Yeah.
With a lot more fun, of course, like a lot more lighthearted and stuff. But it's really just, I don't know. I think it's great.
No,
it's really, really great.
It's on his face. It's in the trailer. I know that.
As far as its ties to the DC universe, I feel like they did a great job of sidestepping.
Oh yeah.
Everything, they still mention it.
They mention things, but they don't.
Yeah, and like there's a building, a LexCorp building is in it. Yeah. Like it's not really a thing. No. Like it's just kind of in the skyline. And so like you can tell, like I mean, to me, I feel like this kind of works better as being a part of a universe than like a Marvel movie does, because typically Marvel like is really on the nose about it. Like, oh yeah, no, because this is setting up this, right? Or like, here's an actual character from another movie that's interacting, right? Like Ant-Man is a perfect example of that. But with this, like, it is in the same universe, and it's in the same universe, but they don't beat you over the head with it.
No.
And I really appreciated that.
I did too.
I would love for more stuff to do that, honestly.
And I know, I'm just saying this is in the trailer. I'm just saying this because it's not a spoiler. Okay?
Maggie's nobody's saying anything.
I'm just saying. Anyways.
You got it.
That Batman's a fascist.
Oh, yeah.
I love that so much.
Well, and I love the... well, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, so I'll save it for spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was some interesting things that they did. I will try and say this as spoiler free as possible, and if I can't say it spoiler free, then I just won't say it until spoilers. But if you know anything about Blue Beetle, and if you don't, then I'll kind of give you just a tiny bit of pretext here. It's kind of like Green Lantern. Hopefully you know about Green Lantern. But basically there was a Golden Age version of the character, and then they were rebooted into like a new version of the character with a new person, right? So they did it with the Flash, they did it with Green Lantern. There's been several characters that they've done this with. So like Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, was magic based, right?
Yeah.
And so then after World War II, when the Silver Age started, everything leaned more sci-fi, and so that's when Hal Jordan became the new Green Lantern, and it was a space cop. It's very like technology and stuff. So same name, had nothing to do with each other, right? So Blue Beetle, similar. There was another Blue Beetle. Like the original Blue Beetle was Ted Kord. This is in the comics. And he was very much, if you've seen Watchmen, Owlman is based off of him, or not Owl.
Yeah,
I think it's not Owl.
It's not Owl, yeah.
Is based off of Blue Beetle, so he's very techie gadgets, kind of G Willikers, like Gee Whiz,
kind of like Adam West Batman in a way.
Yeah, not
that
as campy.
Cheesy. Yeah,
he's more like
steampunk.
He'd be making dad jokes.
Yes.
And him and Booster Gold are best friends, and they opened a casino in a jungle one time. So he's kind of a fun guy.
Yeah.
He's almost like Batman, but with a sense of humor.
Yes.
That's pretty much what Blue Beetle is, and he's like a third tier Batman with a sense of humor. So just so you kind of like his tech doesn't always work correctly.
And his tech has this really weird sense of humor too.
Yeah. So that's the original Blue Beetle. So this Blue Beetle comes from this is Jaime Reyes. He comes from when they rebooted the character. I want to say it was after the 52, not the new 52, but Infinite Crisis, when they kind of redid the universe and they brought the multiverse back, and there was 52 universes, and Jeff Johns was writing all this stuff. And anyway, the original Ted Kord had been killed off. And so then they, I believe it was Jeff Johns, relaunched the Blue Beetle. But now the Blue Beetle itself was a scarab, kind of like Green Lantern. It comes from the sky, or from space.
Yeah.
And it's sent to different worlds to destroy the world. And it finds a host, kind of like Venom, finds a host, and then it kind of takes over that host, and then goes about destroying the world. If you've not seen Young Justice, they do a great job of explaining all of it, and that show's fantastic. So definitely check that out. So that's why, like, there's not really a connection, at least not from the start, between the two, right? Like, they have the same name, but again, very different, right? Yes. One thing I appreciate about this movie, it's in the trailers, Kord Industries plays a role in the movie. And they explain a bridge between Ted Kord and Jaime Reyes. Yeah. And like the way they went about doing that, I really appreciated.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to.
No.
They could have just not bothered. Like there's no reason. There's really no reason. But like it just showed a level of care for the character, for such an obscure character. I mean, it's not like super obscure, but I mean, your average person on the side of the walk, like, doesn't know who Blue Beetle was, I would say it was similar to, like, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And so, like, or maybe Ant-Man. So, just the fact that they gave a shit enough to bother not only having that in there, but making it a part of the lore
Yeah.
You know, like the world building for the movie.
Yes.
It really enriched the history of this. It made it feel more alive, more like a fleshed out story.
Yes.
And even though, you know, again, if you've seen the trailer, even though it kind of goes down some of the tropes that we've seen, you know, in like the Iron Man movies, where it's just
somebody else has got a suit like
you know, just similar powers fight each other. You know, I mean, that's you know, that's kind of where we always end up. Right?
I remember our trailer reaction. We saw the other suit show up. We're like, great.
We're ironmongers, Tony. Tony. So again, spoiler free. But I definitely, I just, again, I appreciated that not only did they breathe fresh life into this character, not only did they breathe fresh life into the superhero genre in general, and spotlighted an area, you know, a culture that doesn't get nearly enough spotlight within this, and knocked it out of the park, and made it accessible enough for people who know nothing, like me, while not holding your hand and making you like, you know, explaining or watering itself down. You know, it's great. I mean, honestly, it's a movie that I feel like the filmmakers and the stars and everybody in it is proud of.
Yes,
and I think that says a lot. You know, like I feel like this is like I feel like it's kind of like Barbie. You know, just in the way that it's holding on to its culture itself. You know, and unabashedly. You know. It's not trying to convince you to like this. It just is this, and you can like it because it's awesome.
It's convincing me to buy a Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah, did you want to say what your nickname for it
was? So George Lopez has a Tacoma truck, and he calls it the Taco. And I have passed so many Tacomas today, and I was like, oh my God, it's a taco. Like, I scream it now.
Yeah.
It's so great. And my dad has a Tacoma, and I told my mom this morning, I said, hey, you need to start calling Dad's truck a taco. She just looked at me, she said, what? I said, Tacoma has TACO at the beginning of it, Mom. It's a taco.
It's a taco. Oh my gosh. But yeah, definitely, we're getting ready to get into spoilers, but I cannot recommend this movie enough. If you miss it in theaters, please search it out and watch it. I would suggest going to the theaters and watch it. It's got some great visuals.
Yes, it does.
This shot alone of him in space, for like the split second that it happens, it's beautiful.
Yes.
And like it gives DC a good name. Like, it's not like any of the other recent DC movies. This one actually is good.
Pretty.
You know?
It's pretty. I think like most scenes were really very well done.
Yeah. Like, I think this will end up being pretty high on our list.
Yes.
Honestly. And it's positive, and we don't get a lot of positive DC movies.
No, we don't.
And like, it's so different from the others.
It was nice to feel hope.
Yeah. It's nice to feel love. You know what I mean? Like, it was nice to feel a familial bond between characters.
Yes.
You know? Earlier today, we asked our audience to rank, well, not to rank, but to vote in a couple of polls regarding Blue Beetle. So, the first one was, how would you rate Blue Beetle? 23% gave it a 5 out of 5. 47% gave it a 4 out of 5. 15% gave it a 3 out of 5. So, I mean, the majority is positive, right?
Good.
2% gave it 2 stars, and 14% gave it 1 star. We always get those jokers in there.
Who are you?
Here's the true vote, though.
The true.
The question was, should Blue Beetle return in James Gunn's DCU?
Yes.
The options were hell yeah and no way. Hell yeah, because that's what he says when he has the story. It's like, oh, hell yeah. 92% said hell yeah.
Heck,
out of
guys.
172 votes.
Woo-woo.
92% said hell yeah. So, completely agree. I think you can argue whether or not the movie was as good as... at the very least, it is a well-made movie.
Yes.
And I think nobody would say it's a sucky movie.
No.
I would say it's very great. Like, I love this movie.
Story.
But I think everyone agrees that Xolo Maridueña did a fantastic job and should absolutely return in some aspect or another. Let's get into the spoilers. Spoilers. I can't believe Ted Cord was dead the whole time.
He really was.
Can't believe Ted Cord was Ted the whole time. What?
Wait, has it been?
No, it's not. So there was a rumor that Jason Sudeikis was Ted Cord.
Yeah.
And I still think he may be.
I think he is.
Now, Ted Cord, spoiler alert, Ted Cord is kind of in the movie, but not really. There's a post-credit scene, and...
There's a painting.
There's a painting, and it looks just like...
very abstract.
Looks just like Ted Lasso.
Yes.
Like, it has the mustache.
Yes.
Or was it a beard or a mustache?
It was a mustache.
But it definitely looks like Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
Like,
the hair.
100%.
Like, the way the hair was painted, I'm like, it has to be him.
And Ted Cord's been missing for years.
Yeah, nobody...
And so they turn on his computer. They go and find the original Blue Beetle stuff, which is great.
Yes, it's great.
Seeing like all the old tech and everything. I love that.
One of the suits is gone.
Yeah, one of the suits is gone. And then in the post-credits scene, the computer kicks back on, and you can hear Ted like talking through it.
Yeah.
And he's like, tell my daughter her dad's alive. Tell her Ted Cord is alive.
Ted Cord is alive.
We did a reaction short to it, so you can check that on our channel. Like in the theater of what our reaction was. And I was kind of bummed because it didn't show him. Yeah. Like I was really thinking we'd actually get to see him, and they didn't. And
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, we don't get his face.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Very let down by this.
Now, I don't think that Sudeikis voices Ted Cord in the movie. I feel like we would have seen that by now. That I don't think that necessarily means he wouldn't be it in the future. I think that this is just someone to just do the voice for this. I think that's all it is. Okay. But I think the reason they didn't was the same reason that they decided, I guess, spoilers for The Flash. If you've not seen The Flash and you don't want to be spoiled on it,
cover your ears, mute us.
Okay, here we go. Same reason that they didn't end The Flash with either Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton. Why it was George Clooney, because then it was just an end joke. Yeah, and it didn't set up anything. Yep. Because they didn't want to set up something that wouldn't be fulfilled, right? Yeah. Aquaman, they did the same thing. They have cut out a Ben Affleck cameo. And I think there might have been a Michael Keaton cameo. They cut it out.
Yeah, I think there's like, I can't remember, maybe 2 or 3 cameos.
Yeah. And so they just cut them. Yeah, because James Gunn's like, we don't want to set up promises of the future and not, because we're not going to fulfill these. Like, we are not going down this route. We're building our own universe. Yeah. And so I could see them wanting to hold Sudeikis back just in case this doesn't make it into the future. Yeah. Which would be such a shame.
It really would.
Like, honestly, and they do such a good job of, like, mentioning the superheroes, but just very casually, and nothing so specific that it can't be in any specific movie. Yeah. You know, like the Superman they mentioned doesn't have to be Man of Steel Superman. Batman that they mentioned doesn't have to be Ben Affleck.
Or Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can be anybody. You know, it can fit. This movie could easily slot into the new DCU and be fine. The only thing would maybe be LexCorp, but like I feel like you're going to explain that away if needed. Yeah. But I don't think it's even needed. So I mean, James Gunn has gone back and forth and said that Jaime Reyes is the first character in the DCU, and then there'll be the first project in the DCU, which is I think it's an animated thing. It's like Monsters or something. Yeah. Creature Commandos, I think is the name of it. David Harbour's in it. Yeah. And then, of course, Superman will be the first movie in the DCU. So, I mean, obviously, if this doesn't do numbers and they want to not worry about it, then, yeah, they can kind of get rid of it. It's no harm, no foul. Yeah. He could show up if they want to do, like, a Young Justice-ish type project. And just kind of have him be there and not really worry about it, having to bring like this character back into his own movies. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's some, like an Incredible Hulk, right? Like you could totally not watch Incredible Hulk in MCU, would still be fine. Yeah. But it exists if you want to watch it. So I think Blue Beetle could kind of go that route. But I would love to get more. I really want a sequel to this. They said they had an idea for a trilogy. I would love to see that. I would love for Ted Cord to be lost in time because of Booster Gold, I think would be great. I think that would be just a fun way to do it. Because you got to think, you don't want to age Ted Cord up too much. But, like, because, you know, his daughter is in her 20s.
Yeah.
And, like, she was a little girl while he was still Blue Beetle. So, like, you don't want him to be too old. No. Because, like, then it would be, you know. A little bit, yeah. Yeah. So, like, you gotta kind of jump over Tom a little bit. So they're a little closer in age. Like, maybe 40 and 20. But, yeah, I would love to get more of this. I thought it was great.
I agree.
Spoilers, Maggie? Any spoilers you wanted to talk about? Or call out?
I'm trying to remember.
Was there anything George Lopez said?
Other than Batman's a fashion. The Beetle, the Beetle mobile. I can't even remember what they called it.
Yeah. I just call it the Big Blue Beetle.
Because you leaned in, because it showed like all the things that Ted had labeled the switches. Yeah. And one of them, it said stealth mode. But really and truly, it was a bug fart.
Yeah.
And Matt leaned in and he said, Ted Cord had the weirdest sense of humor.
It was great. So, like, that's the perfect.
Yes. Like the bubble gum that he made for his daughter. Yeah. I thought that was cool.
He's super silly.
Yes.
You know, but he's also really smart.
Yeah.
You know, he's almost like the Atom in the Arrowverse. Mm-hmm. Brandon Routh's portrayal of him, like, that's very similar.
So geeky and awkward and funny.
Yes, exactly. He's like if Tony Stark was a doofus.
Okay.
But, like, still super smart. But just, you know, it's like somewhere between Billy and Tony Stark. Billy from Power Rangers. That's okay, just so we're clear.
That's like your brother? Billy?
Yes. He's somewhere between my brother Billy and Tony Stark.
But yeah, I really wanted to be Jason Sudeikis, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
I mean, surely.
I really, because I think he'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think they could still do it. Or I would also take Alan Tudyk. As
I'd
Blue
take
Beetle.
it. I'd take it too. I'd be cool with it.
I loved the old tech that he had, especially the Power Glove.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Power Glove's fantastic.
Yes.
Just such a great addition.
And the grandma's machine gun looked like broken pieces of like a disco ball or something. They're like multicolored.
Yeah.
It looks so wild.
Yeah.
And even when she shot it, the beams that came out was colored.
I'm glad they didn't spend too much time on the scarab being evil.
Yes.
Like, I feel like we didn't really dial into that much.
No, other than what his Ted Cord's daughter said, Jenny.
Yeah.
Like she said, you know, he was studying.
Yeah.
Her dad was studying it on somebody else that's taken as its host, and apparently it fuses with your brain.
Yeah.
You could probably die.
Yeah.
Like, you'll lose yourself, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it didn't, like, just beat you in the head with it the whole time. You need to get this out of you.
Yeah.
No.
Well, like, because in, like, Young Justice, it's constantly trying to get him to destroy the world.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like, that's the point.
And Jame's like, no.
Yeah. And so it almost, I like the way that they portrayed this, almost like Venom. I think this is much better than the movie Venom.
Yes.
But, like, you know, where Eddie and the symbiote had to find, like a way to live together. Exactly.
Yes.
And I think that this did a good part of that.
That I'd rather listen to the symbiote talk than Eddie.
Eddie. Hi, me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he did. Because he's like, it's like Venom. I was like, hi, man.
So good.
No, I like the fact that, like, towards the end.
Yeah.
I can't remember its name now.
Oh, yeah, I could never.
They gave her
you can
a
just
name.
call it the Scarab.
But,
That's
like,
fine.
She says, no, Jaime, we don't kill.
Yeah.
I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love this.
And she even quotes his mom in Spanish, which I thought was really good. I thought that was awesome.
Sweet.
And also, like, the like, whatever you imagine you can have. Very, I mean, I loved Green Lantern, not the movie. I mean, the movie's fine, but I love the character Green Lantern. And, like, that very much reminded me of that, right?
Especially the Power Glove.
Yes, the Power Glove, I feel like they could say was inspired by Green Lantern if they wanted to retcon that in there.
That'd be hilarious.
If, like,
Nathan Fillion's.
Dude, if Guy Gardner inspired Alan Tudyk's Blue Beetle. I mean, I would come on. It's because Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. That'd be amazing, dude. Okay, I need to go back and watch this. Okay, because here's the thing. All right, if on the console, there is a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus, I swear to God, I'm gonna die. Because Ted Kord, that would be exactly like Wash from Firefly. Where he's like, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Like, dude, like, I'm not saying Alan Tudyk is Ted Kord, all right? He could be.
You are.
He could be. And let me say, if they did that and like he's very much like they have that as an Easter egg, like, forget it, man. I'm there. Are you kidding me?
Alan Tudyk is King Candy, Hey Hey, and the toucan from Encanto.
I'll be honest. Either way, I'm happy. If it's Alan Tudyk or if it's Sudeikis, I'm happy either way.
Dang it! I like at the end when he's fighting the other guy.
Yeah.
And like she reminds him, I can make any weapon you want.
Yeah.
And he gets that big ass sword.
The burster sword, something like that. Yeah.
But like
it's from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. It is from Final Fantasy.
I mean, I don't know if it's supposed like it's definitely a reference to it. I don't know if it's exactly.
That reminds me of some anime stuff.
Let me see.
I really like that part.
Have actually officially stated it real quick.
I think my skin's irritated. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm like itching and it's driving me insane.
Let's see here. Blue Beetle gets the Buster Sword. Thanks to the power of the Scarab. Jaime's transformation into Blue Beetle isn't an easy one. Blah, 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 blah. Is that the Burster Sword? Let's see. DC Studios unveiled the first trailer. The Burster Sword is a massive sword featuring a broad blade that first appeared in 1997's Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
In the game storyline, the weapon is used by Cloud. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. A whole bunch of more stuff. But
I mean,
yeah, it's definitely
pretty rad.
Yeah. It's just so good, man. And again, he's really good in this.
Yes,
like he does such a great job. It makes me like I can't wait for more Cobra Kai.